Well, hi there folks. If you're a follower of my channel, you'll know that I've built more than a dozen Lidl cheap foamie conversions and several of the small mini Lidls, and there are loads of build blogs for those on my channel. But in this video I'm going to put together an RC plane from some spare bits and pieces I had kicking around. In other words, a spare wing, tail, feathers and a bit of foam board. So the video would be very useful for anyone doing any kind of scratch RC build. First step, of course, build a fuselage in foam board. This is basically going to be the shape, something like that. Wing's going to be here. This is about the same length as a regular Lidl chuck glider fuselage. Wing's going to go there. Slight taper that way, slight taper that way. I'm hoping, and it's going to be a twin, a little very lightweight twin, because I'm hoping it's going to be a really slow flying FPV machine to go with my Speedy B F405 wing and my latest acquisition, my leap into digital FPV, Cadix Walk Snail Ascent Light VTX. That is a mouthful, isn't it? Anyway, I've got very reasonable price digital FPV now. Plan is to pair it with a 1000 milliamp 2S LiPo, which will fit in just here. Little lightweight twin, two little tiny brushless motors, and hopefully it's going to fly. It's got a decent wing, and let's face it, that's the important part. What I've got to do now is make a little template to get the shape of that curve so that I can inset it into that. In fact, that's going to be fairly straightforward. Angle of incidence is always important, so probably just hold that there like that. Or which way up is it? No, it's that way up. Get it the right way. Hold that there like that and run a pencil round to get the curve. So I'll come back when I've actually made a bit of progress gluing this fuselage together. Right, well, I've got pretty much perfect curve there. As far as the angle of incidence goes, doesn't look bad to me. And the method I'm using here to do my gluing is, on one of the panels you actually make a 5mm cut to take away the foam. 5mm shallow cut that is, so you can then run something lightweight down it like a credit card. And then basically, if you're catching this, basically, I'll demonstrate with a bit of scrap. Basically, you're gluing, but you put the glue along here so that the panel that goes on the top actually sits. Try and show you. It's all on Flight Test, on the Flight Test website, but it basically goes like that. So you get a nice join, and it's quite an invisible join. So that's going to go on there, and that's going to go on there. Or rather, that's going to go there and there. I actually messed up the bit in the nose, cutting it the wrong way, but easy with foam board, just to cut another slice and glue it in. So I'm going to come back in a minute once I've got 3/4 of this fuselage glued together. Almost halfway there, and you can see it gives quite a nice clean edge. So there we have it, foam board fuselage. Take me about an hour, I suppose. The wing does go on perfectly, and it's just about wide enough to take a Speedy B Mini. So I could have done better and making it just a little tiny bit wider. As far as the tail goes, I've got a couple of other vertical stabs kicking around, and I think I might have some tail feathers from an old Lidl as well. But if not, I can make one in foam board. Let's see how it looks. Proportions look about right to me. Right, and vertical stab is now on, and I think I've pretty much got it in the right line. Still don't know whether I'm going to get Speedy B in there. That was a bit of a serious error, not making this wide enough. I measured very carefully, didn't quite allow for how much space it would take gluing these on. And all that's going to need there is a couple of barbecue sticks through and rubber bands to hold it on. Even if it doesn't take the Speedy B, it's going to be a fine little Soarer glider, powered glider maybe, yeah. Well, it just gets better. Half of a tail feather, which as you can see, I managed to find the other half. So now I've got a perfectly nice tail plane to slot in here, trim that a bit there, make a slot I think to slide that into, And the other thing I've done is glued a couple of bits of foam board on that, so that locates that, so that when I actually fix it with barbecue sticks and rubber bands, it won't move around, because obviously it's got a couple of stops there now that go into these slots. Perfect. So basically it's coming together really well. Not quite sure how I'm going to fit this, but I might trim it off and just glue it like so. Yeah, I'll work it out as I go along, but I'm quite pleased with this. It's given me something to do today. I've run out of things to do because the weather still isn't very flyable. I've got loads of things I need to test, including my new digital FPV on the Sky Surfer. But in the meantime, I've got to find something to do, and I think this is going to be quite a nice slow flyer. I found a couple of motors. I said it's going to be a twin. I can't remember what these are, but they were on something over 100 gram model, so two of them should be enough thrust for this, which I think is going to come out less than 200 grams, and tiny and lightweight. Right, well, tailplane is now on, and having glued it back together so that it was in one piece, I decided to actually cut it so that I could glue both halves on to the side of this, which has worked really well. And then of course I've had to extend that with a little fill-in of extra foam. So I think the tail's worked out really well, but also I've cut the ailerons, and I will show you. I mean, basically you make a shallow cut. This is the underside. Make a shallow cut, cut a 45-degree bevel so that you've got complete movement there. And as you can see, I've installed a single servo in the middle because it's going to save weight. I want this to be really lightweight. Single servo, that's 5 gram one, I think. Yes, not a 9 gram one. And these are my little control levers here. The V-bend in it, if you're new to this kind of stuff, the V-bend makes it possible to adjust the length of that. But also, I will just show you, you don't need to buy control horns here. What I use is, and if you've been doing this for a while, you've got plenty of these, bits of old servos. What I use is one of these little redundant control levers. Just melt a little hole in there, bit of hot glue, push it in, and you've got a control horn there, and it's cost you nothing. So that's what I use there. That's going to save a little bit of weight. But the other thing I wanted to show you is, having centered the servo with a servo tester and got these to exactly the right length, the question is, how do you actually secure these so they don't fall out? Now you can buy little stoppers to go on here, but even easier and cheaper, and I've never had one fail yet, is take a little bit of heat shrink, put a tiny little blob there of Yoo-hoo pour on there, not too much, just at the far end. Slide the shrink on. Obviously you don't want it fouling the pivot point there. Slide that on like so, and then very quick flash of a heat source like so, and that's not going anywhere. I've never had one fail. So cheaper and easier than putting a stopper on it, and lighter. And as you can see, that works perfectly fine. And you need to cut a slot there so the control arms don't bind on the fuselage. But I think that's worked out pretty well. It actually looks good. It looks like it's going to fly. So next step is going to be to fit the two motors that I've ordered, but I decided, after working out what the all-up weight of this is going to be, that those two little motors that I showed you just earlier in the video aren't actually going to be man enough for this. So I've actually ordered a couple of 1811s, less than £20 the pair, lightweight, apparently a good 100 grams plus, or is it 200 grams, I can't remember, thrust from each of those. So, and I worked out this is going to come out at around probably just over 200 grams, 230 grams, even with the flight controller in it. So that should be enough thrust to make a lightweight FPV machine. The next thing I wanted to do was install the elevator servo, but before doing that, it's very wise with any build to actually figure out what the weight distribution was going to be. These are the bits and pieces that are probably going to go into it. That's the flight controller. That's the speed control I'm using. It's quite an unusual thing. That first time I've ever come across one. It was in the He-Wing Hunter. That's the receiver. I have got lighter weight ones, but if you're planning to use a flight controller, you need one with iBus output to feed the flight controller. And of course the LiPo, and that is the tiny little, only weighs a couple of grams, 2 or 3 grams, the tiny little Ascent Light VTX. And believe it or not, people have been getting as far as 6 kilometers. Not that I plan to do that. 6 kilometers with just 25 milliwatts. So what I did was, and they do fit in okay, what I did was distribute things around. I've got an extra long nose on this in case I needed to have a LiPo very well forward, because it's much easier to do that rather than adding weight. So it's got a long nose, I can always drop it back. But anyway, I put the components in and figured out that it would be wise to put the elevator servo well forward, because you're probably aware that an extra gram in the tail, because of the leverage potential of it, means several more grams on the nose. So I'd rather have weight in the mid area. So that's elevator servo installed there. I could have installed it on the inside and tried to hide that, but you know why, it's built as a practical machine, not as a beautiful looker. It's foam board and a couple of bits and pieces. So that's on the outside, bit of a tube there, same system there with my little servo lever as a control horn, and it works very well. So that's sorted. All that remains really is to install the motors and the electronics, which I'll be talking about and showing you in the next video, part 2, and if you're lucky, a maiden flight. So don't forget to hit the old subscribe button if you'd like to see this finished and flying. But this video's already around the 10 minutes long mark. I think I'll call this a day on this one and call this part 1. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I will catch you again with part 2 and a successful flight of this little creation of mine, which has been quite fun. I'll leave you with one of my other Lidls actually. This is my twin EDF Lidl glider conversion. Now the Lidl gliders are dead cheap. They come into the stores about Easter time, which is about now, less than £10, and they are brilliant for converting. As I said in the intro, I've done 13 or 16 of the big ones. This was my first twin EDF coming up, and it's a brilliant flyer. I'll link the maiden and the build blog at the end. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Hopefully catch you all later with part 2. Bye for now.